Okay, hi guys. In this video, I will teach you how to use rip, draft, shell, wrap, and how to create new planes to draw 2D sketches by using reference geometry. So I'm going to start with rip. In this case, rip basically adds a thin wall support to a solid body, mostly to corners. So first thing that I'm going to do is make a corner. In this case, I'm going to use the front plane and I'm going to draw on it. I just have to make a corner. So I'm going to make this L. And then I'm going to extrude it so we can create the rip in the middle. Finish the sketch, features, extrude. In this case, to make it easier, I'm going to extrude it in both directions. So I'm gonna say 40 here, 40 here. So this is the corner. I still have the front plane activated because I'm gonna make the rip is exactly in the front plane. So let's take a look here. I'm gonna make a rip here, exactly on the front plane. So because of that, I'm going to click on the front plane to make a sketch, and my sketch is only reference. I will make a sketch like in reference. So I'm gonna draw dots. The dot is in the front plane because I selected front plane. So the dot will be in this corner and another dot in this corner. Things to keep in mind: when you look at the dots, they are here. They are exactly in the middle because they were drawn on the front line. And now I'm gonna join them by using two lines. So a line that goes from that dot to this dot. I'm gonna finish the sketch. So I have one sketch that is a line in the middle. I'm gonna hide the front line so you can see it better. The line is exactly in the middle, so I'm gonna make a rip there. For doing that, I'm going to features. I'm going to select the sketch first. Second, I'm gonna click on rip, and automatically it detects that this is the rip that I want. So things to make sure: you can use 3 different types of thickness. One that is only on the left, the other one on both sides, and the other one only on the right. For this case, I'm gonna use on both sides. Here you can customize the thickness of the rip by selecting the number here, and here you select the extrusion direction. In this case, I want this direction, but just if the angle is different, you can change it here. But the one I need is this one. Since this is the result that I want, I'm gonna click on the tick, and automatically the system creates a rip in the middle that will support both of the walls. Okay, new part for a new feature. In this case, I'm gonna explain draft. It tapers a model faces by a specified angle using neutral plane or parting line. So that means that I need material. In this case, I'm gonna work on the top plane. I'm gonna make a rectangle here to create a cube. So I make the rectangle, finish the sketch, then I go to features and extrude the rectangle. I'm gonna make it taller so you can see the difference better when we use the feature draft. So now it is activated. What do we have to do? We select draft, and it asks for the angle here. What is the angle that we're gonna use? And it asks for what is the surface that we're going to use that is going to be modified, and what is the surface that will remain the same. So the one that will remain the same will be this one, the one in pink, and the one that I'm going to change is the blue one. In this case, I'm gonna work with this one and this one. I'm gonna work with both. So how does this work? Basically, you change the angle here, and when you change the angle, you're going to notice the difference by clicking on apply. So my angle is 23 degrees, and because of that, it is changing these two that are the ones that are selected here. So let's say that I want that. Again, I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna say 10, and click on apply. So as you can see, it modifies all the angles here. Let me just change the view. And now it's not a cube. Now I have these two walls that are angled at 10 degrees. So to let you see how this works better, we're gonna take a look to this other angle behind. So again, my pink surface is the one that will not change. In this case, I'm going to select the blue ones as this one and this one, and these ones will be not 10 but I don't know, 50. I will click on apply, and now everything else changes. So what's the idea? Here on top, you can notice the difference. This one and this one were changed by 10 degrees, but this one and this one were changed by 50 degrees. This is only to change the properties of the material by keeping one surface the same. As you can notice, that this one didn't change at all. What we changed were the other two, and of course the one at the bottom will change because it's the regular thing to happen. New part for a new feature. In this case, we're gonna use shell. I'm gonna work on the front plane. Okay, shell. It removes material from a solid body to create a thin walled feature. Basically, it makes a shell, as its name says. So front plane, I'm gonna activate it, and I'm gonna draw there on a sketch. I'm gonna make a cup. So my cup will be something like this. Until here. I'm gonna use a 3-point arc. It will be from this point to this point here, and I'm gonna close the sketch by clicking here and here. I'm gonna finish this sketch, then I will make my axis that will be drawn on the front plane, and my axis goes from here to here. So for this feature, I'm gonna use revolve boss base in this case. So I'm going to select what I want to revolve, which is my cup. I click on revolve boss base, and then it asks me for the axis of revolution, which is this one, and I have a cup. So in this case, I'm gonna hide this one, and I'm gonna hide the front plane. Now I have a cup. In this case, I'm gonna use shell to empty this, let's say. So shell, and it asks, okay, what is the surface that will go out? So it's this one. And it asks for what would be the thickness for the shell. So I'm gonna say that it will be 3 millimeters. As you can see, when I tick show preview, it shows how it's going to be. So let's say that it's going to be 2 millimeters. And when I click on the tick, automatically it will take out the material. So now it is empty. And that's the way you make a shell. So you can make pipelines or whatever that is empty on the inside. Okay, new part to show you the last two features I want to show you. How to create or make new planes, and how to wrap irregular shapes or curved objects. In this case, since I need a curved object, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a cylinder in my top plane. So I'm gonna go and select this, the sketch, and extrude it so it will be a cylinder. This is the type of cylinder I need, and that's pretty much it. So to create different planes, the system requires references, and as you can see, every time you open Solidworks as new, you have at least 3 planes. You can start drawing on each of the planes depending on the need that you have. But if you need to draw somewhere else in a different position, place, whatever, you have to be able to create new planes, because as you remember, Solidworks always has to go from 2 to 3 dimensions. And in order to make something in 2 dimensions, you need or a plane or a surface. You cannot draw on the air. So following that, I'm gonna make some references. What do I mean? Since this is a curved object, and to create planes, I'm gonna need references, I'm gonna put some dots as references. So it tells me, okay, select a plane or a planar face to put your dots. So I'm gonna select a dot, and where do I want to draw? I want to draw on the surface of my cylinder. I'm gonna put one dot here, another here, and the last one here. And I'm gonna finish my sketch. So what do I have? I have a cylinder with 4 dots, one here, one here, one here, and one there. How this works? On features with nothing selected, I will go to reference geometry and I'm gonna select plane. This works by using references. Some of the planes require 1, some of the planes require 2, some of the planes will require 3 references. Mostly you only need 2. But in this case, let's suppose that I need to draw something on top, like let's say here, of my cylinder. So in that case, I will need to make a new plane here. How do we do that? Here, the first reference, the pink one, I'm going to select this surface as my reference. So automatically, you see that the system understands that you need a parallel because it's like this, a parallel plane from the surface. Using this, you can modify the height of the plane, and using this, you can modify the amount of its instances or the amount of planes. So let's say I want to make, I don't know, 7 planes. This is the way it works. So basically, this is how it should look. For this example, I'm gonna make only 1, and I'm gonna leave it at 50 millimeters. So this is what I want. Let's say I want a plane there. I click on the tick, and automatically I have a new plane. So I will have front, top, and right as usual, but now I have a plane 1, which is the one I just created. We're gonna keep it visible. I'm gonna hide top. And now, second type of plane. It asks me, okay, select one that will work as a reference. I'm gonna select again this flat surface. By default, it tells me that I need a parallel, but if I click here on perpendicular, it will change. For you to understand how it changes, it's like this. This is a parallel angle. When you have a 90 degrees from here to here, that's parallel. From here to here, that's parallel. And since what I selected was this surface, it is being parallel with that. But let's suppose that I don't want it in that direction. That's when you have to use a second reference. My second reference will give it the direction of the plane. So I will select one of the dots. And here it shows how this is going to work. But let's say that still is not the direction that I want. I move it because I have the plane now here. But let's say that is not the direction I want. So as a third reference, I'm going to click on here. And yes, let's say this is the direction that I want. So if this is the plane that I want, I'm going to click on the tick, and automatically now I have 2 more planes. Plane number 1, which is parallel to this one, and plane number 2, which has a 90 degrees angle on the surface. Final thing, let's say that I want to make a plane here that touches the surface. It will be tangent. So again, I'm going to reference geometry, I select plane. And the first reference I want to make will be this because it has to be tangent. So this will be my first reference. It shows it here, but if I click on the tick, it will give me an error. Why? Because it doesn't say exactly where I need the plane. That's why I make the dots. So my second reference will be the dot. I want to make it on this dot. So I'm going to click on here, and automatically it understands that I want it here. So it is tangent because as you can see, I'm going to finish it. As you can see, when I look at it from this direction and I hide plane number 1 and plane number 2, this is tangent to this circle. And that's what I want. So now that we have our plane, our tangent plane, I'm going to go with wrap. How wrap works? Wrap is like giving this a hug with something that you want. In this case, you have to make something in 2 dimensions on the plane, and that will go to the object in 3 dimensions. Let me show you. So I'm going to select plane 3, so the system will know that I will draw on the plane 3, and then I'm going to draw something on the plane 3. So I'm going to select a circle. To have a better view of this, I'm going to change the view orientation to the plane 3. I'm drawing on the plane 3 because that's what I said. That's what I selected. I don't know. I'm gonna make a smiley face. So it will be from here like this big. Remember that they have to be close contours. If they are not close contours, it's not gonna work. Here, I'm gonna make an arc from here to here, and it is smiling, so I need another arc from here to here, like this. So this is what I want. This is the sketch I need. I have my smiley face, and if you take a look at this, the smiley face is on the plane. It is drawn on the plane, as I said. So in order to use the tool wrap, I will select wrap, and it asks me, okay, what do you want to wrap? I want to wrap my smiley face. And then it tells me, okay, and where do you want to wrap that smiley face? So I click on here, and I select this. By default, it shows me how in yellow, it shows me how the result is going to be on the surface. So there are 3 different types of wrapping. You can create material on it. Let's start by using this one. I'm gonna create material, and it tells me, okay, how big you would like to get that material. So I'm gonna say, I don't know, 25 millimeters. And I'm gonna click on the tick just for you to check what happens. So the smiley face is now on this. Let me hide the plane. The smiley face, but I created some material. That's what happened. Let's say that, for example, I want to make a hole. So I'm gonna right click on this to edit the feature, and instead of making material, I'm gonna make a hole. And my hole will be only 10 millimeters wide. In this case, I click on the tick, and automatically it makes a hole on the material with the smiley face I did. The last option just creates a contour. So I'm gonna edit the feature, and instead of that, I'm gonna select this one. And it creates a contour. Like, it doesn't have any measure, it just creates that contour on the surface. And this is how you wrap things. You can wrap whatever you want, mainly on any type of surface. But if you want to create material or to cut the material, it has to be a close contour. That's the only condition. And that's pretty much it.